Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another exciting Propagandacast with me, your host, Imperial Dane, and today it's the Monday Novice Fight, yes indeed, following right after the 1,000 subscribers, which is still great, absolutely amazing, and of course, had a big, huge cast prepared to sort of celebrate that, and then Windows Movie Maker fell through. Absolutely tits up, no idea why, but for some reason it just couldn't do it. Which was quite depressing since I spent most of the day trying to get it to work, and then I simply had to give up, otherwise I'd have to cut off a lot of content, and then things wouldn't have made an awful lot of sense. So alas, poor Yorick. Instead, of course, I have to sort of deal with this, the Monday Novice Fight, sort of say hooray. And of course the Monday Novice Fight is certainly part of the sort of reasoning why I wanted to sort of do the cast and of course start the propaganda cast. Of course that is educating, sort of trying to get people into sort of that proper mentality, the proper tactics, strategy and all that, because again Company Fears is partly all about mentality. I mean, it's not like StarCraft, it's not like Age of Empires or Command and Conquer. Company Fears is something a bit more different. You require something a bit more flexible, something a bit more aggressive. You need to take that and take points. You need to sort of spread out your troops, not clump them up in huge hordes and sort of bang them into a wall. You need to think about fronts and all that. And of course that might be a bit more difficult for some players to sort of switch over to, which of course leads to some problems. And of course there's just so much in Company Fears because it has such incredible depth, and of course sometimes you need someone a bit more veteran to sort of guide you into them. So of course that is one thing. Another reason of course for the whole casting business of course was to sort of entertain people, because well, I like to entertain, and well, I also like to sort of teach a bit of World War II history because I like that, and of course that's also a personal reason why, because well, I want to talk about World War II history, and well, I can't really get away with it anywhere else. Plus of course train my English skills, which of course is always wonderful, marvelous, great, fantastic. So of course we're having a Monday Novice Fight, a 1 vs 1 on St Mere Dumont right here. Again, and I sort of figure, well, a novice fight on this one could be interesting. It's not going to be your usual novice fight, I think. It's certainly going to be falling into the more usual novice patterns on a map like this, which usually involves a lot of heavy machine guns and such. It's going to be a bit more smooth, although it's also going to be quite grim in terms of novice mistakes, though, so grit your teeth for those that are not quite fond of that, and who will be fighting well here in the northern corner. We are seeing DDL 31240 of the 27th Infantry Division, and opposing them shall be Sgtbootstrap of the 91st Volksgrenadier Division. Yes, indeed, we'll be saying this a bit away from Normandy. Just pretend these are Volksgrenadiers somewhere in Alsace, Lorrain. They shall be clashing in a fight of novices. Well, like many others, but let's still pretend unlike any other. That's more dramatic. That's the thing we are looking for. And let us get right down to the fighting. The match has begun. And I'd like to start also with a short foreword. I've of course gotten a lot of fans, which is great. I've also gotten a few fans who seem to have a bit of curious side of mind, and of course catching me on some wrong points. Like for example, when I'm playing a game, for example, if they've added me as friends, you'll see that little list up there in the top right corner. Click down, you see me in the ranked game. What does that mean? It means I'm in a ranked game. That also means I might be actually playing a very intense match, which of course means I'm not going to be quite attentive, and of course I'd rather not be disturbed. So when I say for example like no or leave me alone or not now, that usually means not now. It's not because I don't want to talk with you, it's because I'm quite engaged. I mean, if I respond, sure enough, keep talking, otherwise, you know, please don't. I've seemingly already lost a few who seemingly got the wrong impression that I'm basically just there for entertainment. In particular, one which kept repeatedly appearing during matches, asking me for a game. Everything went wrong repeatedly because again he sort of demanded that attention, and apparently got insulted because he felt saying no was rude, but constantly interrupting me was constantly quite fine apparently. And another one who just caught me in a wrong attention, I just got a bit gruffed at. Again, I apologize. Again, I don't want to, but it's all about, you know, catching me at the right moments. If I'm not in a game, sure, ask me for a game. I won't guarantee anything, but you know, don't ask me for a game while I'm in a game myself. Then that's completely beyond my scope, my horizon. All I'm concerned with is winning the damn game, and preferably I'd prefer not to have my attention diverted away from that. So just a quick note on that, and of course we are seeing a regular start right here, but again, sort of brief message again. Wait with your inquiries to after the game is over, sort of catch me between games, and of course again I can't respond while I'm watching replays, so of course keep those things in mind. Hope that was a nice help. And of course again I hope I'm not offending any of you or scaring you off. Just sort of trying to sort of point you out that of course while I do my best to try and be civil and polite and friendly and helpful, of course sometimes I'm just about playing the game, and you know I just like to play the game, you know. It's, I mean, that's one of the reasons why I am playing Comedy Fusion, you know, and casting it, because I love playing the game. So you know. But Volksgrenadier is arriving again. I really like this skin. I'd really like if Relic could have done something similar, you know. I'd gladly have paid a lot of money for that. But you know, again, sort of the idea of sort of fitting several types of themes for units like a Waffen SS or Fallschirmjäger again, or Volksgrenadier Force. But you know, can't have everything it seems. Points being taken though by Pioneers. Volksgrenadiers again. We are not seeing lots of MGs from this chap. Good move. He's being a bit more smooth, a bit more aggressive. Lots of Volksgrenadiers, lots of infantry. Riflemen arriving, so again, no support either from him. That's at least a good side. That of course means they're both keen on fighting, not taking the back seat and enjoying a cup of tea. Volksgrenadiers hiding in the building, giving them increased range of sight. And of course, that's sort of what we can see here. And that of course helps with getting some good shots on those Yankees. But fog of war on. Fun fact, after I've begun casting so much, I actually find it weird every time, or at least when I've not been playing in some periods, when I then return to a match and then I sort of go, wait a minute, there's fog of war. Oh right, I'm playing a game, not watching a replay. Fun fact. And of course this is one of the more novice approaches. We're seeing an observation post right away, and then he's blocking off this area with a machine gun emplacement. I mean, you shouldn't be going so defensively so quickly. And only one infantry team to face off against all of these Volksgrenadiers again. Bad move. He's spending too much manpower on things that can't move about, rather than things that can actually move about. And now he's getting hunted down by Volksgrenadiers, moving in with a vengeance. Rifles blasting. MG42 hiding right here in this nice house, ready to cover this area. And the Volksgrenadiers fighting away. These riflemen who are in a slightly unfortunate position. Oh wait, there's a back door. That's certainly going to help, otherwise they'd have to pop up there right in front of all those Volksgrenadiers who would with glee shoot them down. Of course, the question is, of course, will he be treating right over there, or will he, of course, be doing the slight trick with, of course, clicking the icon, pressing on note, and then clicking on the right side where you want them out. Engineers with flamethrowers popping out right into the small store, beginning to scorch the Volksgrenadiers. One apparently burned alive, very toasty. MG42 firing away, riflemen running away, only one man. Engineers hanging about here. Engineers, oh dear, that's a clever move. Of course, some buildings like these do have blind sides, and then of course moving up to the sides and just firing away. Good move there, Sgtbootstrap. Yes, indeed, Sgtbootstrap of the 91st Volksgrenadier Division, composed of the remnants of the 91st Luftlandedivision, Division, and that's actually generally how most Volksgrenadier divisions were made. In fact, basically just a shattered division, in most cases from Normandy, some cases from the Eastern Front. What few veterans and other survivors that were there were basically thrown together with a bunch of fresh recruits, given in some cases a month or two of training, mostly just a few weeks, some weapons, and then thrown into the fight. Lots of Volksgrenadiers, in fact, also quite a few pioneers. Quite interesting. The American commander not really opening up with much pressure, lots of engineers, and now he's going for the weapon support center, still not having much in terms of infantry. Volksgrenadiers charging forwards, getting shot down by the machine gun emplacement, firing away, 30 caliber blazing. Volksgrenadiers need to retreat. Yes, there we go, Sgtbootstrap. Engineers getting gunned down, apparently we shot down some pioneers. There we go, engineers running away from the fearful Volksgrenadiers. Pioneers seizing what they can. Engineers, heavy machine gun and riflemen advancing under the banner of, well, Uncle Sam, I suppose. Further flamethrowers being equipped for either side. MG42 setting up, heavy machine gun moving into the house. That could end up a bit badly for the MG42. 30 caliber, of course, needs to set up in the right window, otherwise it's not going to be doing much. Engineers moving in with flamethrowers. This force could get flanked. It's too occupied with the heavy caliber machine gun right there. And there we go, riflemen, flamethrowers moving into flank. And in heavy cover, of course, they will be more easy targets for flamethrowers. Flamethrowers being quite effective against units in buildings and units in cover. There we go. MG42, and looks like the Volksgrenadier team are completely slaughtered, massacred, turned into compost. That's what you call pretty bad. And question is, will our friend Didier quickly recommand that machine gun and turn it against his Axis opponents or not? Apparently not. He's going for a triage center, but he still doesn't have a lot of infantry. I mean, there's no point in getting all the infantry stuff if you don't have much infantry. But there we go. MG42 secured for the American forces. Going to prove quite a bit of difficult there for the Volksgrenadiers of Sgtbootstrap. Mortar team on the way, though. That's only going to help. Riflemen setting up there, but not the MG42. That's odd. And looks like MP40s are being equipped for some of the Volksgrenadiers. Volksgrenadiers were actually supposed to be fully equipped, well, largely equipped with assault rifles, the SGG-44. But of course, due to the fact that not enough were produced, some of them would in fact have to make do with submachine guns instead, and others would just basically be armed like regular infantry. But they were, in fact, supposed to be a sort of elite force equipped highly with assault weaponry, sort of automatic weapon, which would sort of make up for the fact that the Volksgrenadier divisions had a lot less infantry than a regular infantry division. Riflemen on the retreat. Engineers also need to get out of there. Mortar rounds being generally bad for your health. Machine guns hiding in these buildings, providing quite some strong points, but of course a mortar will put a stop to that. Pioneers getting stopped by the heavy machine gun and getting burned alive. Apparently they took the short route, not the long, arduous route. And the Pioneers shot down by the MG42 gunner. Very nasty, that fellow. Volksgrenadiers hiding in there with the submachine guns. A bit curious. Assault force on the way. Kamikaze center on the way as well. Up, in fact, no veterancy as of yet. Still, oh wait, there we go. Finally getting some more infantry, Didier. That's about bloody damn time, mate. Volksgrenadiers advancing, standing right out in the middle of the square and getting covered in machine gun fire. 30 caliber and MG42 tearing through them. That was a bit of a mess. And the mortar is not far enough. Oh wait, it perhaps is. But getting ready. Feuer frei, meine Herren. Feuer frei. Engineers and riflemen advancing. Another observation post up for Didier, and of course he does have a lot of fuel, but he isn't really doing much with it. That's rather a bit of an odd thing, you know. Get an observation post and not really going anything for fuel heavy, no grenades, no BARs, no vehicles, no armor, no anything. And rifleman hitting a mine, good move there by Sgtbootstrap, of course, with the mining. Mining always good. Flamethrower Pioneers getting burned themselves and forced on the retreat. Not looking good, not looking good.
The enemy advances.
Volksgrenadiers, lots of submachine guns with them, in fact. A few lost, a bit of manpower being floated, never good at that. Use it. Always use the manpower, in particular when you don't have a lot of population on the field. Another machine gun emplacement up by Didier. I'm not liking that again. A bit too defensive. Lots of machine guns. I mean, you already have those two buildings covered with machine guns. You don't need more machine guns. You need something that can push onwards, and there we go. MP40 equipped Volksgrenadiers firing away at these flamethrower engineers who are apparently getting into that silo. Riflemen also advancing. And Volksgrenadiers firing away. Of course, one thing to note, submachine guns are less effective against units in buildings, but they can still do something. And there we go, engineers killed. Mortar team, though, cleared out. And riflemen standing right in advance. Oh dear, getting out of there in time. That's not too good. Anyways, further Volksgrenadiers moving in. Mortar decrewed. Needs to be remanned. And there we go, mortar ready to bombard the American positions. Looks like one heavy machine gun was knocked out, in fact, by the courageous mortar crews. Looks like more rounds will be flying through the air. And manpower being floated. I don't like that, but let's go look at Didier, who has a ridiculous amount of fuel. So again, the question is, why did he go for the observation post if he's not using 1 ounce of the fuel he's gotten himself and secured, in fact, at the cost of 200 manpower? Again, observation posts are nice, but again, have a purpose with it. Don't just build it because you can. Very important note right there. Incredibly important. In fact, no supply yard at all. That could have been nice, you know. Could have justified it, but no. MG42 needs to get away. Again, retreat. Retreat when you're under mortar fire with the MGs.
Enemy unit down. Casualties being reported.
Grenades have been researched, but riflemen are getting shot apart by the MP40s. Another heavy machine gun advancing. Not really good usage of his resource and running. Oh, manage your troops. Manage your troops. Oh no. Ran straight in front of a building filled with submachine guns. That's just, oh, sad. So very sad. Again, have a clear idea of where you're going with your troops. And of course, keep your heavy machine guns behind your infantry. And of course, ensure you have enough infantry. In particular with the Americans, having 2 rifleman teams is jolly well not enough. 3 is the bare minimum. 4 is what you probably ought to be going by. Riflemen, no, sniper now arriving. Volksgrenadiers with MP40s. Riflemen should not be moving close, but there we go. A grenade though at the Volksgrenadiers. Will they be out in time? No! And the Volksgrenadiers are absolutely massacred. Good move of Didier right there. Volksgrenadiers here still standing about, not doing much. Need to get moving. And looks like some grenadiers are in fact arriving, using some of all that manpower. That's good. Flamethrower engineers advancing. Could be trouble for this mortar team. Riflemen seizing central victory point. And the mortar team once more cleared out. Once more by flamethrowers. And once more the flamethrower engineers hide inside this building. Grenadiers moving close up. Getting scorched. Will we be seeing Stahlgranaten flying through the windows? Clearing that out? Or will they just be moving closer to the flamethrowers? That's counterproductive if anything. But apparently they move beyond the windows. That is actually a good maneuver. And of course can just fire away. Will the engineers evacuate? Apparently not. And LMG-42 engineer cut down by some other grenadiers arriving. And sniper needs to get the devil out of there. And the grenadiers need to stand still, of course, because the LMG-42 doesn't actually fire unless you're standing still. The LMG-42 is not really the upgrade I'd recommend for the grenadiers at all. I'd not recommend it, in fact, at all for anything, unless you're the American commander. And riflemen getting slaughtered a bit, it seems. Riflemen hiding in there.
The enemy is after our victory point.
Riflemen advancing. Lots of fire opening up on them. 30 caliber opening up. And he's upgrading dual LMG-42s, and they're getting suppressed by the 30 caliber, which is doing a much faster job than 2 MGs of the most fast-firing kind. That's generally rarely a good sign. Now flamethrowers getting up as well. Grenadiers getting all suppressed. Still, though, I mean, 2 LMG-42s can get some of a job done, but it's still, I'm not very keen on it. I'm not keen on it at all. But again, if I can't be wrong about the officer, I suppose there might be some sort of redeeming feature of the LMG-42. But again, I've tried so much, and every time I'm disappointed. But perhaps I just need to keep trying until some sort of solution appears. I mean, it's a great weapon in reality, but you know, for some reason it just falls through in company views for me every single bloody time. And then ends up in the American hands, and then they go Rambo on me. And that's never fun. I have nightmares of it. The screams, the horror. No. Heinz. Anyhow. Heavy machine gun getting recruited by the American rifleman. Sniper advancing. Very sneaky sniper that. I hate snipers. And he's using him to take point at the front. No, that's not how you use a sniper. Oh, the horror, the novice horror. Grenadiers and Volksgrenadiers advancing, force the Faserland. LMG-42 team not really getting reinforced. Volksgrenadiers, Grenadiers advancing, sniper making a run for it, for his life, towards the hills if there were any. And a motor pool is up. This could be it for Didier, and there's absolutely no anti-tank assets on the map. No Pak 38, not a single Panzerschreck, only Panzerfaust. And they're moving through here. Not entirely sure what they're hoping to achieve, except yelling obscenities at the machine gunner. Right in there. I mean, I suppose that's the only thing they can do. But that's just silly. Quite silly. And yes, again, Novice Monday fighting. Perhaps not the most exciting matches, but they certainly provide some ideas and some things to keep note of. Engineers moving forwards and taking up position in the Café Normandie, and well, this building is not the best one. I mean, if you want to cover this area, I suppose the machine gun alright, but I mean, it's got a pretty huge blind sight, although the machine gun opens up on it. Another machine gun right there. And a... Is he Panzerfausting the MG4, the heavy... My goodness! I mean, I suppose the Panzerfaust can occasionally do something, but unless you're swimming in munitions, I do not recommend it. I mean, it's not really going to do much. I mean, it would be awesome if you could get some proper action out of it, but, you know, it's just not worth it. But, you know, I mean, now I've seen that as well. I mean, good show. Grenadiers advancing with all their LMG-42s. Volksgrenadiers moving in as well, of course. Again, note, if you're equipping your Grenadiers fully with LMG-42s, then grenade at them. Oh dear, 2 Grenadiers down. That was quite tragic. LMG-42 firing away. Rifleman getting torn apart by something, not entirely sure what. At T-17 moving in. Grenadiers need to retreat. Oh dear, retreat, Grenadiers. No, no. And there we go. Panzerfausting the T-17 has only anti-tank acid, and actually, interesting enough, he's not going for a Greyhound, but using the T-17, which doesn't need manpower for upgrades, but it gains more health through killing. Of course, it doesn't have a 50 cal machine gun, so of course that's that, and of course it can stun targets with white phosphorus shells, mortar round damaging, and of course one thing to note, white phosphorus shells actually work like that. They basically stun the crew because they sort of figured, oh crap, my tank's on fire. And generally, when you're in a big metal box, the last thing you want that big metal box to be is on fire. And generally, being in a tank isn't very fun, so of course imagine that being in fire and that you're not going to be so happy. And that was basically the effect that white phosphorus sort of gave you. So yeah, figure that. Snipers clearing out that mortar team again. That mortar must be cursed. Quite a bit, in fact. And a large Wehrmacht counterattack moving in. Grenadiers, MP40s, LMG-42s, and the sniper. Oh, manage your troops. I mean, if you're sending in a sniper, keep a damn eye on him. And of course, if that chap would just stand still with this... No, the MP40s clear that out. Against... Stand still with the LMG-42s for them to fire. Otherwise, don't bother. Don't bother at all. And now he's what? Again, a novice fight, if we've seen any. Novice fight, that's certainly true. T-17 on the move, second one getting no, he's apparently the engineers decided they didn't want to do it. Sometimes you have to click more times. And the T-17 moving about here, not sure what he's hoping to find. Perhaps, I don't know, treasure and that sort of wrecked construction right there. Volksgrenadier moving into the T-17. T-17 opening up. The T-17 wasn't really used by the Americans, actually. It was mostly used by the Brits. The Americans were quite happy using the Greyhound and the Stuart Light tank. The T-17, and again, Again, I'm not going to be the hugest proponent, but again, I'm willing to sort of experiment with the LMG-42, but... Let me say this perfectly clear, whatever I can do say about the LMG-42, whether you can disagree with it or not, but it's not going to be firing unless you stand still with it. So again, if you want to use it, stand still. Don't bloody well muck about. And again, dueling off with the 30 cal machine gun. And getting shot up by the T-17. And now getting suppressed. This is not going too well for those chaps. They need to retreat, and there we go. And Grenadiers getting stopped by the machine gun emplacement, not really going too well for a friend who has a Panzer Command up. Quite fascinating. Pak 38 now on way at Libitum. which should have been earlier, considering there's been T-17 some time earlier, but apparently not. Again, he's floating quite a bit of manpower. Again, oh dear. And he, on the other hand, could have used some observation posts on those fuel points, even the low ones.
A unit has died a hero.
And again, I can't respond while I'm watching a replay. Very important thing to note, I cannot respond at all. And again, it might on the friends list and all that say I'm in a skirmish, but it's a replay. For some reason, Relic never really got around to adding a message that says I'm in a replay. And now artillery going in right here. T-17 putting a bit of nuisance again. He probably ought to have had those Pak-38s out a lot bloody earlier. Volksgrenadiers getting blasted to bits, trying to Panzerfaust it. Only one Grenadier team left, quite tragic. And I would love to respond to him, but I can't. Again, he should feel free to do so. Again, just turn in the games as long as they're under 1 hour. Because even if they're getting close to 1 hour, as I've learned, things will go wrong. So again, preferably beyond under 1 hour, because that's pretty much the safest thing. But T-17 got knocked out. A small victory for the Wehrmacht. Need to get those things moving out. T-17 charges in. Pak-38s are not pointing in the right direction. And the Grenadiers with the LMG-42s unable to do anything. And quite a bit of manpower being floated. Fuel as well. T-17 on the prowl. Pak-38s pointing all in the wrong direction. How inspiring. Krieg Barracks knocked out. Pak-38 still pointing in the wrong direction. Really inspiring. And gaining veterancy 1-7 kills. Finally a Pak-38 hits it. And the T-17 makes a run for home. And now we are seeing a tank deeper up by Didier. And he's going for crocodiles. My goodness, crocodiles. I've not seen that in some time. But let's speed this up. I don't think we'll be seeing much for now. Just a hint, just a guess. More 30 caliber machine guns. Too little infantry again. I might have been right a bit about in the start with lots of infantry, but then it sort of fell apart, and Didier just gets lazy, just thinking, well, if I just put up enough heavy machine guns, I'm going to win this, baby. You're not. Trust me, you're not. Again, you'll only be able to react to anything going on, really. You won't be able to act. And you should always be able to act to something, not just react. MG-42's firing away from this building. Doing light damage. Ever so lightly, but still apparently some. And engineers moving in with flamethrowers. Grenadiers, get out of there. Wait. Or will they turn on about one? Yes, and the engineers slaughtered. Impressive. Impressive for now. I'm still going to be sort of holding back on the LMG-42, but I'm going to be willing to conduct further experiments with it. Austrian Flakpanzer arriving. Not sure what force they got it from. Could have been the 21st Panzer Division, which was being reformed as well. Without all the funny French conversion panzers. Austrian moving forwards. 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 Without infantry support, it seems. He's apparently keen on just using it like it was a regular panzer. Again, just because of the panzer, it does mean it is a panzer if it says anything else. Just like if it says tank destroyed, it isn't a tank. Only if it's a tank is it a tank, or is it a panzer? It's a panzer, not if it's a flak panzer or a tank destroyer. Very vital difference. MP4 is firing away here, and he's Panzerfausting again. Oh, it hurts. And Austrian getting shot up by the T-17. Austrian responding in kind. Hellcat arriving. 30 cal machine gun cleared out, and again, heavy machine guns do have a bit of a problem with units in heavy cover, in particular when they are in no cover, plus mortars. Pak-38 opening up on the flamethrower moving forwards, and the Grenadiers need to get out. No, they're getting burned. Unit preservation doesn't seem to be either side's strong suit. And the Austrian looks like it will not make it out of there alive either. And floating, my goodness, a ridiculous amount of fuel. And he could have been, oh, manpower, I mean, I could have, you know, build an observation post, train some Knights Crossholders, you know, charge forwards with those lovely heroic infantry. But no, Not at all. I mean, we've already seen a lot of things here, a lot of things I'd like to critique, and already have critiqued quite severely, I hope. Question is, will it be severely enough?
Hey, another replacement.
And again, you know, it's what this is all about. Me being a bit harsh, of course, in a friendly manner, but still, you know, a pointed finger, not good at all. Improve. It gets sent to the Eastern Front. I'm not even going to point out, of course, the lack of medic bunkers or medic stations, as something tells me they'd probably end up shooting their own medics somehow. Volksgrenadier standing about here. Nothing going on in the Panzer Command. Still not a single Knight's Cross holder. I mean, he could get a few, you know, 2 to 3 teams. I mean, he's barely even using all the population he has. And engineers using right there. Of course, the mortar can still prove to be quite a nasty threat once having been recruited again. And apparently, there's a Panzer-fast warhead floating, or perhaps one was being ingenious as I'm trying to load the mortar with a Panzer-fast rocket. And another sniper on the field. Pack 38 hiding. Something tells me this is going to end up very badly. Just a guess, just a hint. Just a premonition of doom and despair. And now he has a Panzer Command. He could train Knight's Cross holders, but instead he opts for Knights. He not opts for Volksgrenadiers. I mean, I don't mind, you know, using Volksgrenadiers even in this later game. I mean, it can have some uses, but when you could get some Knight's Cross holders, you know, for a bit of extra tough infantry, go for it, mate. And now it looks like this sniper's advanced too far and it's getting cut off. Volksgrenadier is moving in with the submachine guns and is scouting him and gunning him down. And then hitting a mine. That's less courageous. And hitting another mine right close to the first one. Apparently heavy mining by him. Not bad, I suppose. Volksgrenadier is advancing. Observation post cleared out. Tank depot flashing. Flamethrower tank getting repaired. Still nothing going on there. Heavy machine gun trying to take the point. Not sure why. Lots of heavy machine guns again. DDR. Don't rely so heavily. And again, that's all the problem with novices in this map. A novice will sort of think, well, this is great for heavy machine guns. And then just sort of forget the point of the game, which is sort of more about maneuver, tactics, infantry, assault. You know, all the fun stuff. Not trying to pretend this is World War I with prettier graphics. And there's trenches. And another crocodile moving in. Several crocodiles. Actually, I've rarely seen this many crocodiles in any game. Artillery getting called in right here. Very nasty. Pack 38 and then Pioneers need to get away. Artillery shot number 1 hits some trees. More trees. And the flamethrower moves in, flanking the pack and runs straight into the artillery. Pioneers gone down. There doesn't really seem to be any sort of grander idea from Sgtbootstrap. He certainly needs a boot up his arse, a jackboot. But let's not get caught up in that. Flamethrowers causing havoc everywhere. Off-map combat groups ready, and another crocodile. That's a record. 3 crocodiles in one game. Not a single proper Sherman, and now a King Tiger moving in. This is very novice. Very novice indeed, but at least he's got a King Tiger. At least he didn't go defensive. That's something. At least we have to give Sgtbootstrap that. At least he chose the one that gave him something that could actually deal with the enemy. And those flamethrowers will not be able to penetrate the armor of the King Tiger. Hellcat, though, is going to prove a bit of a threat. But of course, if it decides to fight the King Tiger from the front, that's going to end up badly. Fun fact, don't fight a King Tiger from the front. Nothing could penetrate that. In fact, there were reports of American panzers or tanks firing away for hours, launching every munition they had, and the King Tiger just backing out without a scratch. And looks like this Hellcat is gone. Also, fun fact, apparently the Americans Hollywood is making a movie about a King Tiger crew, and probably their King Tiger, fighting some sort of supernatural creature on the Eastern Front. It's called Panzer 88. I mean, I can see the advent of Krupp seal and Porsche engines in the fight against all the unholy. I mean, that's what it was intended for, against Bolshevism and socialism, the internal foes against mankind. And let's not get, too propaganda, but you know, fun idea, although it seems, well, somewhat silly, but let's not get caught up in that. King Tiger advancing. Rangers getting shot up by the King Tiger Königstiger, also known as the Tiger II. Volksgrenadier is advancing through here in the west. Other Volksgrenadiers hanging about. The Volksgrenadier division really showing its Volksgrenadier colors. Rangers getting shot up, apparently losing... No, not the bazookas. Interesting fact, the submachine gun, the Tommy gun, is actually showed here with the icon of the assault rifle. Not sure why, but apparently it is. Volksgrenadier moving in to deal with these engineers. Rangers sort of trying to deal with the King Tiger from the front, and another Hellcat moves in. Again, the Hellcat was not the most thickly armored tank destroyer. In fact, a Puma, or well, an armored car in a regular flak could have knocked it out. In reality, that is, again, against the King Tiger with its high velocity flak 88, or KDK 88, that's not going to do much. And the flamethrowers are on the prowl once more. The crocodiles leaping forwards. Although in reality the American name was the Zippo, the crocodile was the name of the Churchill flamethrower tank. Troops getting suppressed. Building knocked out. Volksgrenadier is trying to deal with this, but getting burned alive again by the flamethrowers. My goodness. The noviceness, if that's even possible to call it that. And clear out. I mean, let's just sort of watch this through, and
they're hitting one of our forward emplacements.
Well, that was certainly silly. I mean, I'm not even sure how to comment on this game anymore. I mean, that's just incredible. And something say, I mean, pretty much at this stage, Sgtbootstrap has won. He has the King Tiger, and his opponent is apparently only keen on attacking it from the front, which is, strangely enough, not working. And apparently that's something else coming out, that Panzer Command, and if I know something, it's probably going to be a Panther. Although clearly Bootstrap's preservation of his Volksgrenadier seems pretty lax. He's certainly not going to be very well thought of by his men, I can tell you that much. He's certainly losing them in droves. And if that's a Panther, then this is pretty much game over, no matter how many Volksgrenadiers he loses, and I have no idea what Fraps is acting up like. Let us try again. And yeah, Flaps just seems to be acting up occasionally, again, no idea why. Just seems to be my curse that I can't get a lot to go right with these things nowadays. Volksgrenadiers need to get out of that building before it collapses with them inside it. Again, if you have some units in a building, that building gets destroyed, and there are units inside it, they will die with it. I mean, when you have a building tumbling down upon you, you're not really going to be likely to survive. And of course, anti-tank buildings are pretty nice to deal with buildings with, by the way, so of course that's not entirely bad. But get them out of there, Bootstrap. And there we go. Panzerkampfwagen 5th Panther Panzer ready to fight for the fatherland. And, well, let's just call this game over. This is not going to get any better. I think that's it. I mean, I think we, extrapolated the main lessons, and I'm pretty sure we can say these chaps are not going to make it. They're going to get whopped by the King Tiger and its Panther friend. So, what can we learn from this? Of course, this was one of the more curious Novice Monday fights. Certainly different in many ways. I mean, we saw lots of heavy weapon support. I mean, again, you want infantry to support something with, not just a few infantrymen, then lots of heavy machine gun. Again, the passive approach just doesn't work, and of course that one allowed Mr. Bootstrap to sort of crawl back, get a King Tiger, and punch his teeth in. And of course, floating manpower like that, not acceptable at all. and certainly not waiting with getting a Pak 38 so long when you already see a T-17 several minutes early. I mean, if you don't have a Pak 38 out by the time he gets one, and you can get one as soon as possible. He didn't. Big mistake, but otherwise floating too much manpower, not using that Panzer Command optimally, and other things. And of course the main flaw was here from our American friend side, getting a fuel point machine gun emplacement up that quickly, and then not using all that fuel. That was terrible. And of course, not enough riflemen at all, not enough support for them. I mean, there were several flaws, as I've sort of pointed out. I mean, there's too many to note. And of course, don't use Panzerfaust against infantry. Otherwise, there you go. I hope you enjoyed this Monday novice fight. If you did, want to subscribe or tell a friend. And if you didn't, well, why not send in a replay of your own? And of course, I'll get around to sort of getting out that celebratory second cast, which should have been out yesterday, but we'll have to get out today. So, cheers!